Hey guys, it's Spacey Sims, and we are back with more Piofiore 1926, continuing Henry's route, having fun with the Phantom, and we will probably get our good ending in this part, I assume. So, let's jump into it, because I don't know, it could take us a little over an hour, it could take us under, I have no clue, but we should be getting our ending here. Enough about the Mafia. Where's Chloe? Sebastiano looked displeased by Henry's bluntness, but he regained his composure and smiled, picking up a box from a nearby shelf. He held it out for us to see. If it's your sister's bones you seek, they're in here. I was like, he's holding out a box, but he made a body, so it wouldn't fit in that. I forgot he took away the ashes, so... And this is a special kind of pietradura? Pietradura? A technique to create stonework carvings and gem engravings. Good lord, I can't read today, I'm sorry. I'm the only one who knows how to open it. If any attempt is made to open it by force, the contents will be destroyed. Lovely, isn't it? So you made like a cryptex with her fucking ashes in it? He smiled as he caressed the edges of the ornate box. But Henry, as you can see, there is no way of telling whether your sister is truly inside until the box is open. Therefore, it'd be very unwise to kill me. I'll take the fucking chance. Did you know that your new sister is nearly ready? I only need to affix her head now. The eyes under his mask were clearly looking at me. However, I do know how rude it would be if I were to force my opinions onto you. Because you see, we are the best of friends. Out of consideration to your feelings, I shall leave the final decision to you. His lips curved madly in the faint shadow of the mask he wore. Will it be the Signorina or your sister? Please give me one or the other, Henry. If you hand her over to me, I can give you both your old sister and the new one in exchange. If you decide to ignore your sister, I will destroy the Pietradura and throw the whole thing into the fireplace. You can't! Either way, it was forcing Henry to sacrifice someone he cared about. Okay. I understand that. You know what I mean? Because it's like you think someone's dead, but you don't know, you don't have a body. And it's like the closure of having a body to lay to rest. But it is just like, and it's 1926, so maybe there's like the whole thing, oh my god, you can't cremate her! I mean, I get being upset that she was cremated against her wishes or against anyone's wishes. Like, you can't just do that. Okay. And I get the attachment of like, you stole my sister's body, cremated her, and now you're extorting me over it. Like, there's a whole lot of issues, but here's the thing. It's not like it's easy, and I don't have a stake in this, but I could understand being in Henry's point if someone was doing this to someone. You're like, but you're not gonna give up a living person for bones. You know what I mean? And there's more important things than bones. He's not holding your actual sister for ransom. And like, I feel like Henry's smart enough to kind of get there and go, as much as you want your sister's body put back where it belongs, she's gone at this point, and this is just a no-win situation here, right? You know what I mean? But the thing that is sad is that we are gonna, you can't! It's like, girl, I'm gonna need you to put your fucking church shit aside and realize that the logic here is not, we must do everything to get a dead body back. Yeah, cut your losses here. Like, I mean, I guess because I'm not, like, uber religious or religious at freaking all, and I don't agree with a majority of it at all, that, like, this, I can get the audacity, like, the audacity this man had. That's bullshit. But where we are in this position, Okay. I mean, it's a little callous to be like, fine, chuck her in the fire. Peace out, bitch. You know what I mean? Because that's awful. But you're not going to hand over a live person. And I know Henry would come to that conclusion like, yeah, I don't think I would ever want to be in this position, but I'm not going to trade a live person for a skull and some ashes. That's absurd. No matter how much my sister means to me, like, you still have her memory, and, like, her spirit is gone from this place. Her bones don't really mean anything anymore. Like, you're gonna have to let that go. You know what I mean? And I get that it'd be hard, but you've gotta let it go. And I think Henry's smart enough to do that, but us, I don't think we're gonna be, oh, but I mean, okay, girl, and this is where Henry needs to slap us and be like, get your fucking shit together, and get, like, I understand being, like, shocked at his audacity, but I have a feeling she's gonna fight and make it a bit, and it's like, it's not a big deal. If Henry decided to let it go, yeah, it's gonna suck, and we'll comfort him and everything, but you do not need to be making a show out of it. That's ridiculous. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? And Henry will be the logical one here, and we're gonna be this whole crazy fucking religious wackadoodle, and it's like, dude, yeah, it'd be nice if we could get his sister back for him so he could bury that little box of ashes where she belongs and, like, kind of put her back. That would make sense. But, like, also, we could just shoot the Phantom in the skull and then take the ashes and just be like, I'm just going to assume they're in here. I'll feel better about it. Put her skull in there, too, and we're good. You know what I mean? We just need to kill the man. I mean, that's it. She's just going to make a big deal out of it. And, like, that's the thing that bothers me the most, is she's gonna make this whole huge stink about, I need to sacrifice myself for your sister's ashes. Like, girl, stop it. Don't be fucking stupid. I really hope we don't go down that route, but I'm just prepared for it, okay? Anyway, either way, he was forcing Henry to sacrifice someone he cared about. Again, though, with this. His sister's already dead. So, like, this is not a place you want to be, but she's already gone. Her bones are not as important as a living person. But, I mean, I get it when you think about, like, if you put anything else of yours that's important, that's an object or something that's not a living being. A living person's more important than this. So, I mean, I kind of get it, but, like, this is not a, like, this is a no-win situation. You know what I mean? This is not a situation most people would ever find themselves in. I felt a growing anger and sorrow at the idea that Sebastiano could be so cruel. I'm with her there. Oh, haven't I compromised enough? I truly have. So what will you do, Henry? Do you need some time to think? I don't mind waiting at all. If you gave me the Signorina, you'd surely suffer from guilt, perhaps even go mad with regret. There was no justifying his actions. A man like this had only evil in his heart, and just madness in his brain. Then will you abandon your sister? Could you? No, you cannot. It's because you're still trapped in the past. How can you give her up now when you've devoted your entire life to her? Because his sister is gone. That's why. You can never escape your past, nor let go of your hatred or the obsessions that fuel you. Yes, he can. Because I have a magic vagina and we had sex. What? Now he's magically healed. I'm just saying. Henry's gaze was quiet and calm. I couldn't see any emotion in his eyes. You're such a tragic beauty, Henry. So beautiful that I cannot help but admire you. Yes, yes. Please show me more of that despair. And we're like, Henry has no emotion. Okay. I know you'll try to kill me again someday, but I do not mind. It's my greatest wish to sacrifice myself to you, my masterpiece. Sacrifice himself to you is not... That's a euphemism. He means it every which way you can imagine. Like, literally, you killing him would be his end goal, but, you know, he wants to wink, wink, sacrifice himself. I'm just saying, this man is so gay for Henry, it's ridiculous. Once again, I can experience the joy of your full attention when you decide to kill me. I could not be happier. This must be the work of fate, wouldn't you say? Sebastiano! I had enough of listening to his nonsense. Not even my safety was a concern at this point. None of this is fate. All you want is for Henry to suffer. You've been acting selfishly without caring at all about Henry's feelings. I almost said selflessly, and I was like, whoa, Spacey, learn to read. Totally wrong. What you've done is unforgivable. I won't allow you to take anything else from him. We whip out a gun and we kill him. That would be amazing. Is that so? Well, it isn't up to you, so I'm afraid I'll have to refuse. At Sebastiano's curt dismissal, Henry called out to him. Sebastian. Henry had a slight smile on his face. It seems I owe you my thanks. Oh? Because of you, I was able to realize what was most important. Henry's smile grew wider as he put his arm around me and pulled me closer. Huh? It's time that I forget about the past. My sister, you, my crimes, and my revenge. I will forget everything. Huh? I don't need Chloe's remains anymore, though I do still feel sorry for her. If my sister really did commit suicide, then she didn't have a moment of peace until the very end. To borrow from your own words, this must be the work of fate. I mean, it'd be nice to get your sister back and put her back where she belongs, but I understand that he realizes that her ashes are not that important in this. And if we kill Sebastiano, you could take the box. You know what I'm saying? Or it falls into the fire and it burns, and it's like, okay, we'll just take all the ash. There's some wood and some kindling and shit, and maybe my dead sister, and then we'll just... she's got some tag-along. I mean, it's like an Egyptian burial. We buried her with trees or some shit. You know what I mean? Okay, it's fine. Something. Or you just take her skull and put it in there. It's something. Henry's response was so unexpected that I was completely speechless. She's already been, like, desecrated so beyond anything at this point. Like, thank God she's been dead for a while. But, huh? Henry, are you alright? What's happened to you? The masked man, who had always hidden behind a smile, was now showing signs of agitation. Beyond the words Henry spoke, I realized the greater meaning behind why he said them. Won't you regret choosing her, Henry? Are you really going to deny your past? He shook his head in denial and confusion as he asked Henry his questions. Will you really throw away your past over an uncertain love? I am. If that's your decision, then I'll destroy the box just as I said I would. Yes, then go ahead, do as you wish. As soon as Henry nodded, Sebastiano slammed the box down to the stone floor. The pietra dura was stronger than it appeared and hit the floor without breaking. Enraged, Sebastiano kicked it in frustration again and again. Each time the box rolled away from him, there was an unpleasant rattling sound. The contents were likely being broken. After a while, Sebastiano was out of breath and stopped kicking as though he was satisfied. He burned her, so the things that are rattling around would be the pieces of bone that didn't fully burn up, you know what I mean? Your sister's skull must be shattered by now. That box? How big was that box? I was expecting kind of small. How big was it that there was a skull in there? Alright. I kind of figured the skull wasn't in there because he was going to use it. Are we putting my head on his dead sister's skull? That's gross. I thought it was just my hair you wanted. Sebastiano looked up at Henry and was shocked to see that he had a smile on his face. Henry! This is your sister! How could you be so cold-hearted? Sebastiano shouted hysterically while Henry remained calm. That's a strange question to ask, Bastian. I already answered you. I do not care about the past. I mean, I care a little bit the fact that you're, like, abusing somebody's corpse. That's kind of sad and mean, but, like, you know. I understand Henry is probably like, I mean, this is fucked up, but if I say anything, I get what he's doing, but... And he's probably also like, I need to let her go, and, like, her bones aren't important in this scenario. But, you know.
I finally feel true happiness, knowing the person I love is beside me.
He held me even more tightly, taking my hand in his. He then kissed it affectionately. Please stop! This cannot be true! It isn't right, Henry! No, this isn't beautiful at all! Where did my dear friend go? This is absolutely more beautiful. The fact that you think suffering is beautiful is kind of fucked up. Sebastiano was frantic as he reached for the knife on the table. But before he could even come close, Henry raised his gun and pulled the trigger. Sebastiano staggered back against the long table. His hand scrambled to his chest and tried to press down against the wound. A red circle began to spread from underneath.
It's a shame, Sebastiano.
Henry's voice was calm and gentle, hiding any anger he may have felt.
What you seek is an illusion. It was never me. But from now on, she and I will live happily together.
Sebastiano shook from either fury or pain as he pleaded to Henry. No, this cannot be. You mustn't do this. This cannot be allowed. If you refuse your true beauty, please just die. I don't want to see happiness in your eyes. You mustn't enjoy life. Even as he said this, I could see the strength slowly draining from his body. Put another one right between his eyes, just to be safe. He fell to his knees and reached out a bright red hand. As long as you live, you must...
I must live in despair. Unfortunately, I must decline.
Sebastiano's red fingers hung in the air when another bullet was fired, this time at his throat. He collapsed in a heap on the floor, and Henry walked toward him slowly. He's like, I put it in his throat so he'd shut the fuck up! Again, right between the eyes would have worked. Sebastiano was looking up at Henry as if asking for help. Henry pointed the gun at him again. Another gunshot rang through the room. After that, there was only silence. I imagine that one was right between the eyes. By the time we left the building, the sun had already set behind the trees. We were walking back down the path from which we came when Henry spoke in a quiet voice.
You despise me.
Huh?
I taunted him with what I had, and what you've given me, and that I was happy, and that I had love.
I stopped in my tracks and squeezed the hand that was holding mine. Why would I despise you for that? Like, good job. Smart decision. I could never despise you. I was surprised at first because he gave up a part of his past that he had previously been unable to let go. I understood that it had to be painful. I'm glad that she, doesn't do what I thought was going to be like, no, you can't, Henry, it's your sister's bones. I mean, being like, Sebastiano, you're fucked. What the hell? The audacity. Absolutely. But, he felt sorrow and bitterness and almost became what that man had wanted. He had to lie and force himself to smile.
I didn't want him to die peacefully. I wanted him to suffer.
I didn't want Sebastiano to take any more of you. I didn't want you to suffer so that he could be happy. That's why I understood why Henry couldn't show any despair in that moment. Only a smile. I don't think you were wrong to do so, and I don't believe anyone could blame you.
You said what he did was unforgivable, but you can somehow accept everything about me.
You and Sebastiano were completely different, and... My voice caught in my throat. Henry looked at me with concern. Are we going to get a beautiful CG? Then he wrapped his arms around me in a warm embrace. Thank you. That was what made him kind. He seemed to feel the depth of the wounds that had been inflicted on him and the weight of what had been taken. It was as though I could feel his pain in my heart. Perfect time for a beautiful CG. White screen, so it's either... Oh, no, we're wrapping up. We're done. Sebastiano was killed by Henry and the other intruders suppressed by the Mafia. Bishop Rosberg's visit was postponed to another day when it was concluded peacefully. The Pietroduro was buried at Chloe's gravesite. See, we got her back anyway! I'm just saying, you know what I mean? There was no proof that she was inside, but without Sebastiano, we had no way of knowing the truth. We just take him at his word, and then that's what matters. Because honestly, a person's body at a grave or in an earth or something, that is for the living. For you to mourn, for you to grieve, for you to deal with. That has nothing to do with the dead person. Like, they're gone. Whether they're lost at sea and their body never recovered, or you buried them, or you burned them, like, that is for the living to come to terms with their grief and deal with it and their memories and all that shit. You know what I mean? So, like, yes, it sucks. She was all buried and at peace, and then he dug her up, and that the audacity of that, I get you. You don't know that she's in there, but you just go, you know what? I'm just going to have faith that she is, and we're putting it to rest because, again, it's not about if her body was actually in the fireplace somewhere or he sprinkled her around the forest. That doesn't matter because it's like, if you think about it, like you cremate someone and you cast them out to sea. Oh, they loved the ocean, so we scatter their ashes at sea. That's a memorial for you. So a body in a gravesite is for the living, not for the dead, you know? So you have something and you just choose to believe that she is in there and you put her in and she's good and you still have some place to go and remember her and all of that. And, you know, you just have to choose to believe that because you don't know for a fact, but we'll just pretend we believe Sebastiano. That'd just be easier to come to terms with in our stage of dealing with whatever this is, you know, so, you know, anyway.
Even if he misled us with the box, then there's nothing we can do about it. My sister almost committed murder. She was not entirely innocent, regardless of the circumstances. In that sense, one might argue that she didn't deserve the peaceful sleep she was given until now.
Well, I mean, she was kind of a crazy bitch, but still. I don't think she deserved being dug up and used in a puppet theater. You know what I mean? So, Henry spoke matter-of-factly, but there seemed to be a shadow in his eyes. Nobody's entirely innocent here. We might be, but nobody else. I mean, Sister Sophia and Elena, and the orphan kids. But like, most people in this aren't. Most of the people in this not innocent in any way. Henry, what are you going to do now? Now that he fulfilled his mission of killing Sebastiano, there was no reason to stay here. I want to stay with Henry, no matter what.
I haven't given it much thought.
Henry shook his head as he spoke. It was an answer that was very unlike him, a person who had always made meticulous plans for a future that hardly anyone else could foresee. It may be because of everything that's happened recently.
Tonight should be our final meeting with the Burlone Mafia. And then, finally, it'll be all over.
You're right. I nodded quietly.
Spacey.
Henry turned and faced me with a sincere look in his eyes.
With your help, I've finally let go of the ghosts of my past. But thank you. It was because of you that my life could be saved.
Was I really able to help you?
Yes. Were it not for you, I would not have had the strength to fight. Even a sinner like me could have a moment of true happiness. And though naturally the moment itself was a sin,
Henry's expression was calm. Yet something about it concerned me. Is something the matter? You better not leave me.
what do you mean?
I couldn't help but ask the question, but he responded with a hint of confusion. Just seem different now. Henry looked down a little hesitantly, then slowly drew closer to me. Oh my god, now are we getting a CG? Then, in a very natural way, he kissed me with a light touch of his lips. God damn it. Come on, there's gotta be like an NCG in here somewhere.
It's going to be dark soon. We still have time, but we should wait for them there.
I nodded, took his outstretched hand, and walked alongside him to the church. Bye time with our mafia friends. Everybody was gathered together for the final meeting. For that matter, it seems that we'll be able to maintain our relationship with the church. Dante spoke in a calm voice. I had also heard some of the details about the current situation from Henry. The church had partnered with Sebastiano, but their wishes were not fulfilled. The planned assassinations for both Bishop Rosberg and the Burlone Mafia had failed. The intruders were captured and confessed that they were prospective disciples. The Burlone Mafia threatened the church that they'd publish their testimonies. As a result, they were able to strike a deal to retain Burlone's extraterritorial rights in exchange for their silence. With that, the church resumed their protection of Burlone, and by extension, the Mafia. They likely still wished to recover the relic. In the eyes of the church, I was still an obstacle to their goals, even though it was only recently that I had lost my eligibility. It couldn't be revealed to the public that an assassination was attempted on a member of the clergy due to the church's internal politics. Dante, who was a man of faith, frowned with disappointment, but Nicola only laughed. Not only that, but they were also prepared to kill the faithful who attended the mass for which he was the celebrant. I think this incident reminded the church how dangerous it is to have the Mafia as an enemy. Orlok, who was also devout in his faith, looked angry that the church would plan such a thing. I could hear his indignation clearly.
In the end, the town's interests are safe. Now I'll be able to enjoy myself again.
Indeed, things went much more smoothly than I anticipated. Gil smiled and nodded, then looked over at Henry.
The good thing Gallier's finally gone. Honestly, you were a huge help in taking care of him.
I mean, I killed him directly, so yeah. Well, Henry.
It was the Burlone Mafia that protected this town. Were it not for you, many more would have fallen victim.
Also true. There was a gratitude in Henry's voice as he spoke to those on whom he had once sought revenge.
And there was only one person I wanted to protect.
Henry looked at me and smiled. I was surprised that he'd be so open in front of the others here. Just then,
Dante Falzone, it's time that I fulfilled my end of the deal.
Henry spoke in a calm voice.
I've done everything I needed to do.
Dante, what the fuck? Like, I fully expected Dante after the conversation with Sister Sophia, everyone was like, maybe, we can't really blame Henry for wanting vengeance on us because, our families did some shit to him. You know what I mean? And, Gil was like, I mean, I didn't do anything, but, whatever. You know what I mean? But, Dante's conversation with Sister Sophia, he was like, you were not gonna kill him, Dante, Jesus Christ. But, I mean, I know damn well Dante's not gonna kill him, but I kind of expect him to be like, yeah, no, I'm not gonna kill you, bro. I'm gonna pull the gun and then be like, nah, I'm kidding. What is this fake out bullshit? Just as calmly, Dante raised his gun at Henry in response. Dante, what are you doing? I wasn't the only one taken aback. Only Henry, Dante, and Nicola accepted the situation as fact. Lambert's first letter to the Falzone contained a request. He asked that we protect space and allow him to work freely in Burlone until everything was resolved. At the end of his letter, he wrote that he would pay for his past crimes with his life. Last year, Henry Lambert did everything in his power to try and take down the Burlone Mafia. I mean, again, you guys specifically were not actually guilty for the things that he was taking revenge on you for, but your family's kind of... I think we kind of all know where this... I mean, Dante's not going to kill him. Because this would be a really fucked up true end where, Henry dies. But it would also be a fucked up true end where, somebody kills Dante to prevent Henry from getting killed. Just saying. And that fact remains unchanged. You think we'd let an enemy of the family escape? Nicola, I'm gonna slap you. Please wait! I mean that. Looking back at my memory, several moments returned to mind.
Until I kill Sebastiano Gallier, I ask that you allow me to live.
Till you kill Gallier, huh? What about after it's over and done? You gonna let us kill you without a fight?
I cannot give you my answer now, but rest assured I will pay the price for having damaged your honor.
And Gil got over it, and Gil's like, nah, we're friends now.
And don't worry, I'll be fine. It's all in the past, and no sense in ruminating over it forever. In order to fulfill your wishes, I have to hurt you. So, I will accept if you never forgive me.
Is that what you were talking about?
No matter what happens in the future, my heart belongs to you.
I throw myself in front of him. You can't kill him! Dante's like, I'm just gonna aim for his forehead. You're too short. I can see his head over you. Henry intended to die from the beginning.
Forgive me, Spacey. If it hadn't been for you, I would already be dead by now.
I'm gonna be like, I'm just gonna tell you this, Dante. If you kill Henry, I will fucking come for you. I will fucking come for you. You better put a bullet in my fucking head. Because I will spend the rest of my life in vengeance. It's gonna be a fucking circle. Never gonna stop. It's the chain of screaming. Wait, Henry, you can't. I clung to Henry to shield him from Dante's gun.
It's alright. I was able to protect you, so my job is done.
His expression was clear and calm, having fully accepted it long ago.
You may no longer act as the Key Maiden, but the Falzone and the Visconti will take good care of you.
They're not, I don't trust the fucking Falzone to take care of shit if they're gonna kill the man I love. That's not taking care of me. Just throw that out there. Oliver's a backup, so it's fine.
And they're people you can trust.
Again, I really wish she'd throw some of this back in his face. First of all, the Falzone's gonna be responsible for killing you, so I can't trust them for fucking shit. And killing the man I love is not taking care of me. Putting this out there.
I've also asked Emilio to help you if you need anything. So, do not be worried.
No, I'm not worried about that.
I must take responsibility.
But contrast to Henry's composure, I spoke in a trembling voice. I'm actually surprised Dante's even going along with this bullshit right now. Because, like, your sister Sophia was basically like, your father kind of drove that girl to throw herself off a cliff if he didn't straight up push her. Just putting this out there, buddy. The fear of losing him weighed on my heart. I know Henry's committed crimes, but I turned toward the others, feeling my eyes stinging as I pleaded his case. Is Henry the only one to blame? Is he the only one who needs to take responsibility? You know that's not the case. Please, Dante, don't kill Henry. Let me take his place.
Spacey, don't. I'll not allow it. The one thing I cannot bear is your death. I want you to continue living.
Henry held my arms and moved me away. I felt someone behind me reach out and pull me toward them. Nicola! He will need to atone for his sins at some point. He can't run forever. Again, and I'll be like, and what about yours? You better fucking run for me. I would punch Nicola in the face right now. I will never forgive you. I struggled against him, but my strength wasn't enough to shake him off. There's a part of me that wants the tragic ending where Dante kills Nicola so I can just go into full fucking... Look, I love you, Dante. I do. But I will stab the shit out of you for killing Henry. This is bullshit. He's not gonna die, but, like, I'm still pissed about this. Dante's gun was still pointed at Henry. Henry was looking at me. Same familiar gaze that was at the same time gentle and troubled. Lambert, you seem to have an incorrect understanding of the Mafia. You believe that the Falzone and the Visconti will take care of her? You are mistaken. He's like, you're gonna be the one to do that. Jesus Christ, I'm not taking care of your problems. But I just think it's so funny that Dante's faking him out. But, like, Dante, you're a bastard for this fake out. Like, I fully expected him to pull the gun and then just be like, no, I'm kidding, I'm not gonna shoot you. But, like, what the hell is this whole thing? You know he's not gonna do it, but, like, he's a bastard for faking us out. Holding the Key Maiden in Berlin despite her ineligibility could cause our relationship with the church to deteriorate. Hidings, yeah.
I know you won't allow that to happen.
So naive. Dante pulled the trigger, and a loud gunshot sound echoed through the church. And you're shooting in a church, too. My eyes squeezed shut on instinct. But even after the sound faded away, I couldn't hear anyone's voice. I fearfully opened my eyes. And now, the sight before me took my breath away. Henry was standing there just as before. There wasn't a drop of blood to be found. What? How Dante lowered his gun and spoke plainly in a quiet voice. He just really wanted to fuck with us. What a dick, though. Like, you knew he wasn't going to do it, but you're like, what the hell are you keep going with this ruse? And Nicholas, what are you doing? You are assholes.
I've shot Henry Lambert as agreed. Whether or not it was a blank is none of my concern.
What a fucking dick! It's fucking hilarious. Henry's like, ow, that hurt. He's like, eh. What a fucking Dante! You said you could kill him, not shoot him. There's a different, like, you know what, though? Funny Dante, but also, what a dick move. What a dick move! Dante, for the first time, it appeared that Henry didn't know what was going on. On his face were visible traces of confusion as he searched for a semblance of understanding.
It cannot be denied that this man assisted the Burlone Mafia in their time of need. In addition, Spacey Adornato similarly made sacrifices for the Burlone Mafia's sake.
Yeah, I made sacrifices. My eligibility as key maiden. That wasn't really a sacrifice, but like, it's okay.
As a result, we've decided to reward her and Lambert for their contributions. All debts have been repaid.
Dante spoke with his usual stern demeanor, but Yang began to laugh.
Good grief! You're gone soft, Falzone. Nope, this is definitely a decision the Falzone boss would make. I agree completely.
Gil's over there like, well, thank God, I was going to be mad if one friend shot another friend. Gil chuckled warmly, and Orlok nodded with relief.
Me too. I wouldn't have wanted her to experience that sadness. Unbelievable. Seems I'm surrounded by cowards.
That was the deal between the Falzone and Henry, wasn't it? It's not our place to butt in.
Even as he said this, Gil looked at Henry and smiled a bit mischievously. Gil's over there like, thank God, because I love you, man. Gil is everybody's fucking bro. Like, seriously. I mean, he's, you know, the cause of all of Oliver's ulcers. But, like, he's everybody's friend. I think he might be the main antagonist in Oliver's story, though. Like, Oliver's life is like, everything would be fine if it wasn't for goddamn Gilbert Redford. Like, he's like, Gil is my employer, and I care about him, but goddamn the man is trying to kill me. I hate him sometimes. But I love him, and I gotta take care of the bastard, but goddamn do I hate him.
Hey, Henry. You said you'd take responsibility, so make sure you see it through to the end. Our Signorina's crying. Shouldn't have to remind you to be there for her.
It's not his fault. It wasn't until then I realized I had been crying. Tears were spilling down my cheeks and falling onto the floor. He was still stunned, but looking at me with confusion from where he stood.
There, go on now.
Nicola gently pushed me forward. This is where I would also slap Nicola and Dante and be like, you deserve that! That fake out was bullshit! I didn't know when it was that he released me, but I found myself running freely. Henry... I do enjoy the fake out, though. I was like, the fuck are you doing? You're not gonna shoot him. He's like, there, I shot you. Alright, we're good. Fucking bastard! I threw my arms around Henry and held him tightly, feeling the beat of his heart against my cheek. I wonder if there's a bad ending where we get to this point and he kills Henry and he's like, what? Henry, I'm so glad. I mean, we stopped way earlier for, like, one of the bad endings, so I don't think it'll go that far. They're gonna be instant kind of ones. Tears of happiness spilled uncontrollably, even more so than before.
Spacey.
With trembling hands, Henry touched my wet cheeks as if to make sure of something. And after a long silence...
Have I been forgiven? Can I still be with you?
Or I can still be with you, sorry.
I can still live beside...
Oh my god, do we get a CG now? His unsteady voice stopped as his emotions overwhelmed him. His strong, gentle arms held me tightly in an embrace he didn't attempt to hide. No, that's just where it ends? Son of a bitch. I mean, it's a beautiful ending. I'm gonna turn the volume down because you know we can't skip these. Oh my god, and then it goes like... blatantly screaming in my ear. Well, I mean, I don't think it comes as a surprise that I love Henry. So, I love Henry. Beautiful route. Look at that. We finished in time. We're going to wait for. That route was really fucking good, though. Like, I mean, the Phantom just got crazier. And look, he didn't actually take the skull and put it on the body and do anything. Like, he stopped. That last bit, we wrapped up his crazy and we didn't have to worry about any more trauma from him. So, good job, game. I mean, at the one point, I kind of feel like maybe Henry didn't want his sister's body back because he was like, I know what he did with that skull. He licked it. I don't want it back. Like, you keep that, sir. You can keep that. Like, I don't know, but God. Phantom was a lot of fun in this route. Like, disturbing as shit, but. And, like, just the freaking torture of being like, God damn it, Henry, just admit you love me! Stop it! We had to get all the way to basically the end before he was like, no, I love you, and then we just throw it out. Like, and that whole freaking scene, stop it. So sexy, you bastard. Beautiful. Here for this. I really do enjoy this game. I mean, I did enjoy this game. This is basically it. Not necessarily true, because we have to go through. We're going to get our little after story thing here, and then we have to go through our tragic end, which they usually take about 2 parts, I think, because we start, like, way early, and then we got to do the short bad ends, which he does have a bunch of. So we'll have at least 3 more parts, I would say. Hold on, let's do this. Let's pop this back on in case there's sound effects. After the final meeting at the church, Henry and I departed Boulogne. Bird, I'm going to need you to simmer down. I was still being targeted by the church. If I remained there, I would only cause trouble to everyone in the future. Bird, simmer down. Last year, we fled Boulogne without telling anyone, but this time I made sure to say my goodbyes before leaving town. At the church, Elena smiled for me while Sister Sophia gave us her blessing through tears. Henry apologized to Marco for getting him injured. Marco only laughed and forgave him. Both Dante and Nicola were busy, but they still came out to bid us farewell. Leo and Julia encouraged us to return to Boulogne and visit them one day. Gil and Oliver told us to contact them if we needed anything at all. Warlock prayed for our safe journey. It's sad that we can't stay, but I don't think Henry would want to, because there's bad memories here, Yang didn't come to say goodbye, but that was very much like him. Finally, just before we left, one last well-wisher appeared to see Henry off. I'm gonna guess it's Emilio. Emilio! Interesting, isn't it? That your life could be ruined by the legend of the Key Maiden, but in the end, it was the very thing that saved you. No, perhaps I should say that you were the one who saved her from a tragic fate. You've long been at the mercy of fate, but what you hold in your hands now is indeed what you've grasped of your own free will. Congratulations. May you both have a safe journey. With his blessing as a parting gift, we set off on our way. They just don't tell you, but I'm assuming it has to be Emilio, because nothing like that's going to come out of Orlok's mouth. Didn't they already mention Orlok? After leaving town, we crossed the border and returned to France, a place little north of where we used to live with the children. A modern town with many people. Henry took on translation work like before, but he also began teaching languages to children at a nearby church. Oh, so adorable. He said he still wasn't good with children. The change in him somehow made me feel a little melancholy. He still looked sad sometimes, and I was able to see his kind smile more often now. The lives we lived now were in full acceptance of what had happened in our pasts. After checking the clock, I left the house and made my way down a street lined with cafes and restaurants. When I got there, he was already waiting at our meeting place, and I ran toward him. I'm sorry, Henry. Have you been waiting long? We promised to have lunch together after Henry dropped off his work for the day. I've only just arrived. Let's go, Spacey. He kindly offered his hand to me, not hiding his affection for me. I still wasn't completely used to it, so it was with nervous excitement that I took his hand. Seeing him this way now made me realize that he had been holding back all this time. I could now feel his love in every action, big or small, which was so different from before. Oh, by the way, I suddenly remembered while we walked. I saw a wedding at the church on my way over here.
Yes, it's already June now, and the children have been talking about it as well.
The bride looked so beautiful in her dress. Girl, are you sending this man hints? I remembered the pure white dress and the long veil, both of which were lit up by the sunlight and the bride's radiant smile. Perhaps someday... Yeah, exactly, girl. I found myself swept up in a daydream.
Perfect timing.
Huh? When I looked up, Henry was smiling at me in his usual gentle way. Oh my god, are you going to propose?
My craftsmanship is still lacking, but please give me your hand.
His combination of words confused me, but I held out my hand as he asked, did he make us a ring? I'm going to die. Henry took my left hand in his and slipped something over my ring finger. Oh! And he said his craftsmanship. Did he make me a ring? Stop it. Henry, is this...
And the children taught me how to make it today.
Oh, it's a little flower ring! It was a ring made from white flowers. As I smiled at his lovely gift, he looked at me with the utmost sincerity.
Spacey, please listen to me.
What was he about to say? I could feel my heart pounding faster as I looked up at him.
My sins of the past cannot be erased. And my sins are unforgivable, even if you yourself forgive me.
In the past, Henry would have spoken these words with a sense of guilt and remorse. But today he said them with conviction and courage, and with the quiet strength of acceptance.
Since the church will likely pursue you at some point in the future, but we don't know when our peaceful days will come to an end.
But someday, since that's like setting up for like 1927 going to America. I'm just saying. Someday?
If I can prepare a ring for you, on that day, will you accept it?
It's like a pre-proposal. I love it. I took his hand and smiled. CG? NCG? Ah! Look at how beautiful he looks! Look at how goddamn absolutely beautiful he looks!
Spacey.
And we look adorable too, with our cute little blushing face and our closed eyes. You know, what I like about this is because sometimes her eyes get a little wonky, because they're a little too big, and sometimes you're like, everything is great, her eyes look scary. Comes out of nowhere, it's the front-facing Nicola effect, it just kind of seeps in places where you're like, oh, something's a little off. But this is perfect, because we look adorable, we don't have to worry about having creepy eyes. She doesn't always have creepy eyes, but you know what I'm saying. And, like, he looks absolutely gorgeous, so, like, it doesn't ruin the NC... Oh, thank God. Because the NCGs are important, man. I leaned against him affectionately. Henry, you've always amazed me. Without thinking, my emotions transformed into words and flowed from me naturally. You always say the most unexpected things, and they always make me happy. Feelings he expressed to me in words made me so happy that I could hardly stand it. Oh, look, and you can see her little flower ring! Oh my god, I love her little frickin' crochet shawl. That's so adorable.
I want you to be happy. Always.
I could feel his emotion straight away, which brought tears to my eyes. I smiled again and whispered so that only he could hear it. Love you, Henry. I somehow knew that he was smiling too.
So, will you accept it?
Of course I will, but I really like this ring. Can you make me another one someday?
Yes, before the flowers wilt, I'll make another ring for you.
Really? Maybe he was only joking, but when he spoke calmly like this, it was hard for me to tell. I smiled again. You have to save that ring. I mean, it's going to dry up and stuff, but still, she's going to put it in her little memory box. Like, someday we'll tell our grandkids about it. Adorable. Henry whispered solemnly in my ear.
I promise you, Spacey. I will stay beside you. I will devote my life to you, for as long as I live. I'll never again let you go.
We walked together down the cobbled street. I'm going to cry. Stop it. Feeling the breeze carried by the Saône and the Rhone rivers. I don't know frickin' French rivers. Why'd you gotta throw it in? By the French rivers surrounding us. The flowers blooming on the something hillside signaled the approaching summer. God Stop throwing in French words. Such were the days we lived, because I can't read those. You ruined the whole beautiful ending by throwing in French words I can't read. Henry was a man who had known great suffering, someone who had forgotten the joys of life. He now stood beside me, smiling happily. It was like a dream. I didn't want us to ever be parted. Even if the shadows of our past followed behind us, we'd bravely face them together. Each day I would live on. The person I loved. That's so beautiful. This one really gets you. You know, there's like those moments where it just fucking punches you in the heart and makes you like weepy. This is beautiful. Good job. Are there going to be like after stories? I don't think there are. I don't think there was ever anything to unlock. Because there's like... We already did the Advent calendar was already the stuff we did. That's progress dictionary. Oh. Wait a minute. Oh no, wait, these are just the arias that we saw in their routes. Okay. Yeah, okay. I was like, wait a minute. And I was like, right, I forgot for a hot second. So that's kind of cool. I never noticed when we came in here that you can go back. And the music, goddamn, sometimes just putting this on. I'm kind of sad, like, because, like, I think they sold soundtrack. I don't think they did for this one. But I know they did for the other one. You could have gotten, like, the limited edition kind of thing. I didn't, because you're like, I don't know if I'm going to like the game. I'm not going to get, like, a limited edition that comes with all the stuff, because, like, you know, there are certain games that, like, if I had gotten limited edition stuff, I'd be like, oh, I mean, yeah, we had fun playing the game, but, you know, they're not games that I like, oh, I love this game and I love these characters. You know what I mean? So, like, I didn't know I was going to like it. And I didn't know I'd love the freaking soundtrack so much. I'd be like, damn it. And you can't buy it after the fact. It's always like, you have to buy it now, because then it's like, freaking reproduce the soundtracks, because the soundtrack for freaking Piofiore, for this one they're so good. I kind of feel like the music in this one is the exact same as the first one, but... Henry. All right, we're missing 2. We're missing that last one. That's the full game unlock. But yeah, everybody else is. We filled everything. So. Oh, whoops. All right, now is this the one where... Oh, look at him in his glasses. No, okay. Well, hold on. But it is one of those damn games where, like, A goes back. I hate that! It's like my giant pet peeve. You know what I mean? Where you're, like, looking and you can't, like, all of his except for the sexy CG. Oh, not a kissy one. Okay, bye. Where we attempt to seduce him. Okay, I'm just saying, when we do the voice acting, we're gonna have to come in here and, like, so we can replay the sexy scene. I need to hear what he sounds like in a sexy voice. Like, you know what I mean? Good God. So we can just come from the CGs and hear, like, them talking. I like how he's just sitting there and we're like, an inch from his kissing him and he's just like, good job, back up. Henry. Okay, when she's walking with him later, she doesn't seem quite as short compared to this one. This one's a little awkward with the body proportions. He's suffering from some amnesia memories body proportions right now, but not gonna complain. I love Henry. This CG though, Jesus Christ, come on. You can't do this to me. You can't do that to me! Yes, you can. This one's so beautiful though. Like, how do we not end it on this one? But there's the temptation. This one is so, like, goddamn. Then again, so is this one. Although, it does suck because everyone got 13 to 14 except for poor Yang. They all technically have the same amount, except for Henry. They have the same number. They all technically have 11. It's just sometimes there's more, like, there's 2 or 3 versions. But, like, I kind of hate the fact that Henry really only got 9. So he got a little stiffed. in the thing. I mean, of course, there's also like fucking this one. Okay, okay. Okay, it really depends with our bad ending and then our other all bad endings, because we're gonna get like 2 more CG's endings because we've got to do. Actually, we'll really only get 1 more for Henry because we'll do our bad ending. We'll start it in the next part, and then we'll like finish the tragic ending because that usually takes about 2 parts. And then we're gonna have to do all his bad endings, but all his bad endings will probably roll into like then playing with the voice acting and turning all that on. So we'll have at least 3 more parts. So yeah. Unless we do all of his bad endings because they take the short bad endings. I don't think they will. There's like 6 of them, I think. Let me see. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 5 of them, so they could take like a whole freaking hour to do. Who knows? And if it takes too long, then I don't know. We'll see what happens. We got to start with our bad ending in the next part. So we got at least 3 more parts left to the game. There's really nothing else after that. So, we'll probably finish up his bad endings. That part might go a little long, but whatever. And then we're done. But we've done all of the good things. All of the good, wonderful stuff is done, and now it's just tragic and sad. Until we get to the voice acting, and then that's beautiful and wonderful, so, But anyway. Henry's tragic bad ending starting in the next part. Look at how beautiful this motherfucker is. His glasses. God damn. Anyway. I will see you guys next time. Remember to give the video a big thumbs up and subscribe to see more.